Hey, what's going on, team? It's Ricky with Technical Solutions. I hope that you guys are all having an amazing Memorial Day. So what I wanted to break down with you guys is I'm normally known as someone that, buys and sells these supercars for a profit. One of the things that I wanted to share with you is the pretty much six-figure loss that I took on this McLaren 720S. And although, trust me, I get it, it's a lot of money, I wanted to share a little bit more of the background. It's not like I feel like I owe anyone an explanation when it comes down to the overall loss that I've taken. But as a YouTuber that openly talks about how much it costs to own a McLaren, I actually wanted to talk about not just all of the incentives, but obviously some of the drawbacks when it comes down to owning a car like this. Like many of you guys know, I bought this car in December of 2018. Now it's May 2020. It's the car that I've owned the longest in my entire life. Again, I've always been someone that's been proactively buying and selling cars. I really got into cars after the whole Fast and the Furious movies, and I ended up growing such a big passion for cars, and one day I wanted to buy a GTR. Shortly after I bought my first house at age 20, at age 21, I ended up accomplishing my dream of being able to afford a 2012 GTR at the time. But one of the things that I wanted to talk about is I've shared how much it costs to insure something like this. So I have great coverage just because I have a multi-car discount. So on this one, I actually only pay about $1,500 every 6 months for my overall insurance premium, which breaks down to about $235 to $250 a month if you were to do it on a monthly basis. When it comes down to the depreciation, I bought this car for $299,000. If you're from the Arizona area, you might be familiar with this dealership. It's LAC, and I bought it in 2018, which is the year of this specific car. And one of the things that I wanted to share with you is I knew right away, as someone that has experience in buying and reselling cars, that I was going to take a heavy hit. But because I've always had such a big focus in investing in real estate and buying and reselling these cars, I wanted a car that I can truly enjoy. And it's, I think, one of the biggest reasons that it's depreciated so much. Out of all the cars that I've had the blessing to own and to even just ride, I have to say McLaren, again, this is all preference, it's just one of the most enjoyable cars that I've ever had the experience to drive and own myself. But one of the downfalls, definitely by owning a McLaren, it's not a Lamborghini, it's not a Ferrari, it's not as well known, and it just depreciates much quicker. I've shared that so many times that I would still prefer a McLaren, but you have to understand that it does take a very big hit, and I was not shy when it comes down to putting miles. Right away, as I purchased this car, I bought it to enjoy it, right? I worked really hard, and I wanted to make sure that it wasn't just a car that sat in my garage. And this is, again, simply just preference, but I took it on rallies. I daily drove it. I literally did everything with it. And I bought it with 1,900 miles, and it has a little bit over 11,000 miles. I have to say, in the state of Arizona, I'm definitely one of the highest mileage McLaren, which is one of the reasons that I have to say, based off of me buying this car for $299,000, I bought it through a dealership, which was the first car ever that I bought through a dealership. I've always had such a big focus on buying cars only private party, but again, with the understanding that I wanted to buy this car to truly enjoy and not to necessarily try to make money off of it. So again, I was making videos with it. I was trying to share my overall experience and enjoyment with you guys, but I definitely understood that it was going to take a hit. I didn't expect it to depreciate as quick as it has, but overall, because I bought it for $299,000 with tax and everything, it came out to be about $314, if I'm not mistaken, and taking that into consideration and how many miles it has, I have to say this car right now is probably worth about $220,000 to $200,000, and you can do a quick search yourself. And one of the things that I wanted to share with you is this is actually the whole purpose of this video is, I have felt like I've done my part in, especially at such a young age where I really began to focus on trying to set myself up for success, right? I've shared my story before. I've had this channel on YouTube since 2015. My first video ever was me sharing my experience of buying my first house at age 20. I was studying at the ASU, which is Arizona State University, the Polytechnic campus. I came from a 9-to-5 background. I worked at a telecommunications store, for those that are familiar with it, and I was working full-time, going to school full-time, and I was trying to dabble in these different markets. And one of the things that I really wanted to share with you guys is as I've put myself out there on the internet, right? We run the largest YouTube channel and the largest Facebook group in the world for those who day trade in the stock market. And obviously we're a big target when it comes down to people's open-ended opinions. And there's definitely nothing wrong with that as I put myself in that position. But one of the things that I wanted to kind of share with you guys is I truly do not find anything wrong with having materialistic goals, right? If it was not for watching the Fast and the Furious movies, if it was not for just having such like an intrinsic motivation to one day be able to afford a GTR. I don't know if at 14 I would have started, my little fingerboard company, which are like little tech decks to buy and resell. I don't know if I would have, Google searched how to make money and would have landed on, trading in the stock market. I don't know if I would have started my YouTube channel, moved to Arizona, and overall purchased my first property by age 20. One of the things that I want to share with you is I have realized based off of the different relationships that I've had with a series of friends, is a lot of the initial reasons that a lot of people start are based off of materialistic things, right? When people come from very poor beginnings, maybe it's a type of clothes that you one day want to be able to afford. Maybe it's jewelry. Maybe it is a supercar, or one day being able to buy a house where you don't necessarily have to rent. One of the things that I've learned in the past couple of years as I've been a little bit more present in kind of the social media space comes down to the idea of people love to talk, and people love to develop opinions about people that are trying to do better, especially in their inner circle, right? And one of the things that I've learned is people are going to talk regardless if it's something that you want to do or don't want to do. So why not just give them a reason to talk and pursue whatever it is that you personally see value in? So if it's a Gucci belt, or if it's some type of clothes, or if it even comes down to being a GTR that you one day want to be able to afford, and that's what gets you up in the morning, that's what gets you to be able to work 2 jobs so one day you can save up enough money to one day be able to buy that specific car. At the end of the day, if you work hard for your money, then it's really just your opinion that matters on where it is that you want to spend it. And I want to try to give you a pretty good example of this. When it comes down to, as I began to upload videos on YouTube, I was someone that always was trying to proactively empower people to not necessarily buy cars from dealerships, but to educate yourself on how to determine what a good car deal is, especially if you are a car enthusiast, to make sure that you either reduce the amount of money that you lose or can actually turn it around for a profit. And even someone like myself to then later being in a position where if I'm not mistaken, we are one of the youngest people here in Arizona that invested and fully own a car dealership. Even coming from that background, someone that bought a house at age 20, and I've invested in a total of 17 properties so far, and people still love to criticize me in a sense, mistakes or what they would do differently. What I have to say to those people is, if you're so opinionated about what it is that I'm doing or what it is that someone else is doing, why not just simply do it yourself? I'm never here to say that what I've done or what I'm doing is the perfect way in doing so. There's many different ways in being able to work towards something and still being able to get that same end result. At the end of the day, it really comes down to what brings you fulfillment and whatever it is that you want to spend your time doing. If you're someone that is intrinsically motivated to be successful because of the monetary aspect, then so be it. If you're someone that's okay with having a 9-to-5 job and you would rather find fulfillment in spending time with your family, then I also think that's a beautiful thing. And pretty much what I wanted to share with you is, as someone that has taken a really big loss on a McLaren, and people can say countless things on where I could have better spent or invested that specific money, I just feel like I am trying to do my part in staying well balanced and well diversified, right? And one of the things that I want you guys to realize, even with the very small following that I have on YouTube and on different social platforms, is the overall idea that no amount of likes, no amount of comments, no amount of subscribers will ever bring the overall fulfillment that I get for accomplishing whatever it is that I personally set for myself and was overall working towards. So yes, although it is very cool to have my small little following in the different social platforms, at the end of the day, your goal should always be to pursue whatever it is that brings you the most fulfillment and surround yourself with those that truly empower you. I started my YouTube channel in 2015. 5 years later, nearly 1,800 videos later on YouTube, I've tried to show up every single day, twice a day, and in the series of different businesses that have either succeeded or failed. One of the final messages that I want to share with you is, again, people are so opinionated, especially on the internet. They're going to talk regardless, so why not just pursue the series of creative markets that we want to pursue that bring us the most fulfillment and actually give them a reason to talk. I really do appreciate your guys' time. Don't forget to stay connected. We do run the largest Facebook group in the world for those who day trade in the stock market, and that's that first link down below. And of course, it is 100% for free. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I really hope that we earned your thumbs up. And like always, team, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take it easy.